LaGrange.
Welcome in, everybody, to the Key of LaGrange Coaches Show, live here at Your Pie. I'm Andrew Callaway, and I'm with the head coach of the Callaway Cavaliers, Pete Wiggins. Coach, a big region opener Friday night against Temple, and Callaway came out on top 34-6. What did you see in your boys Friday?
Well, I was really proud of our kids. I thought that they played hard against a good Temple team. Temple was 3-1 coming in. Their tailback was one of the leading rushers in the state of Georgia in all classifications, and I think we held him to a very limited total. And I was really proud of our guys. I mean, we played well on defense. Offensively, we were able to make some explosive plays and get points on the board. And, it was kind of a tighter game early on, and we expected that against, they're a scrappy, hard-nosed team in Temple. And, again, you don't get to be 3-1 unless you've got a good team. So I was really proud of our kids' effort, proud of their preparation leading up to the game. It was a good week for us with homecoming. I thought the kids handled all the festivities well. It was a big time down in Hogansville with the parade, and again, I thought that the kids handled all that well. And from a coach's standpoint, I mean, the homecoming week's always fun, but you're kind of ready to get that over with too,
Did you participate in any of the days? I know the day I was up there, you had opposite day. I didn't know if any of the coaches dressed up for anything like that.
No, I didn't see any of the coaches participating, but anyway, I know the kids had a good time with that. But I was proud of the win Friday night, and I know that the homecoming festivities went really well. And again, thank you to all those involved with making that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. You talked about stopping their tailback. I think it was I can't remember his name. He was number 28, but he was one of the top running backs in the state as far as stats. I think averaging like 10 yards a carry, over 200 yards. And I thought our defense did a really good job against the running game. And a couple of names I kept calling all night was Anthony Elliott and Jabari Smith. I kept calling their name all night long.
Really, they really had great games, and Elliott just keeps getting better each week. I'm so proud of him. And I want to say another name that we haven't said before is Ladarius Williams. We call him Little Dew. Yep. But Little Dew had 5 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss, and he had several pass breakups. But what a game for him. And it was his first start at outside linebacker. And, he's a small guy, but he's really fast and he's physical. And really proud of him. And LaQuise Gilbert had a big game at the other outside linebacker.
Absolutely.
So Coach Boatman from a wrestling end, those 3 guys, Elliott, Gilbert, and Little Dew are all wrestlers, and they're all like top 5 placers in the state this year in wrestling. And so they made him proud Friday night. But those guys had a big night. You mentioned Barry. Barry gets better each week at the defensive line, defensive tackle spot, and I'm really proud of him. And we still get him a few reps in at fullback. He started and played a lot of games for us at fullback, H-back last year. But he's a really smart guy. He's a technician inside, and he's playing well. And while we're talking about those defensive guys, I want to mention a few more. But Trey Stevens and Caden Prather, they swap a lot of roles at the other defensive tackle position, and they're doing well, and they get better each week. And I think Coach Bruce does a phenomenal job with our defensive line. And then Keyshawn Suggs at the other end. He's very consistent, and he and Anthony Elliott, they're 2 good-looking kids to play defensive end, and I think they're physically they're really special athletes, and they're good kids. I mean, they're both about 6 foot, 6'1", 215 pounds, and they both can run. They're both weight room warriors, and they get after it. And I think it shows on Friday night. And I think Coach Bruce does a great job with that with those guys. And I was talking about those outside linebackers, but Coach Deano Martin, he was really proud in the meeting yesterday. I mean, he really he was grinning when we always go around the table, and each coach talks about their position and goes through the grades and the scores on how their kids do. And Coach Martin was really proud of his 2 outside backers and Gilbert and Little Dew. So between the D line and 2 outside backers, they had a great game. And the inside backers, Coach Burton Thomas coaches those guys, and R.J. Williams is dealing with an injury right now, and hopefully he can get healed up and get back soon. But Austin Thomas, Charlie Dixon, Kier Jackson, those three guys took the bulk of the reps at inside backer, and they did a really good job against Temple's run game. And you was talking about their back, I think, was ranked third in the state of Georgia in total yards coming into that game, and I don't know his total. I should know their total that we gave up, but I think he had less than 50 yards.
It was less than 50.
And he's been putting up a lot of yards and averaging over 10 yards a carry. So our guys, they worked hard and they prepared well, and I thought that our coaches really had them ready to go, and anytime you can shut down a good back, that's tough to do, and I was really proud of our guys on the defensive side of the ball Thursday night.
Yeah, I was as well. So a couple other guys I want to talk about on the other side of the break. So we're going to take a timeout back to the station. You're listening to the Key of LaGrange Coaches Show live at Europe High.
If you need medical treatment at the highest level and want care that's personal, turn to WellStar. We offer the latest procedures at Georgia's first certified comprehensive cardiac center, along with an innovative approach to fighting cancer, where specialists collaborate to accelerate diagnosis and treatment. We're also home to a top-level stroke program that performs life-saving operations every day. At WellStar, we care for the whole you. Learn more at wellstar.org.
Hello, this is Jonathan Moose Matt from Glenn Smith in Opelika. We are proud that we have expanded our lot to an additional 100,000 square feet. We have increased our inventory by over 200 more vehicles. We have the largest inventory ever with over 600 vehicles for you to choose from. Chevrolet, Buicks, and GMCs, plus pre-owned vehicles. In our 27th year of serving East Alabama and West Georgia. For the best prices around, come to Glenn Smith Chevrolet Buick GMC in Opelika. Get ready to smile.
Isn't life crazy? One day, your fender gets dented by a runaway shopping cart. The next day, your kid's college entrance exam is a runaway success.
Yes, I got accepted.
But that's life. Some days you're the bug, some days you're the windshield. No worries. Your State Farm agent is here in all of life's moments, the good and the not so good, to help life go right. So good day, bad day, any day, let's talk.
State Farm agent Matt Orr on the square in downtown LaGrange.
Life costs money, sometimes lots. First Franklin Financial has loans for living. Our Hogansville and LaGrange branches offer personal loans from $300 to $15,000 with payment plans to fit any budget. Stop by and meet the friendly Franklin folk at the location near you. Visit onefc.com to learn more. All loan terms and applicable APRs depend on meeting our underwriting and income criteria for the loan size requested and may require collateral. Georgia Residential Mortgage Licensee number 5656.
Now back to the Key of LaGrange Coaches Show, live at Europe High LaGrange.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Key of LaGrange Coaches Show at Europe High. We're talking to head coach of the Callaway Cavaliers, Pete Wiggins. And, Coach, before the break, we were talking a little bit of bragging on some players. And two guys that I really want to talk about, Charlie Dixon. So he usually starts on defense at linebacker or safety. He started on defense, and he started at running back, filling in for Tank Bigsby Friday night. I thought he did a phenomenal job.
I've been really, really pleased with Charlie in a bunch of ways. Number one, his leadership on our team right now is really high. Whether he's calling the plays at Sam linebacker, he really commands the huddle well, and that's hard to do. Over the years, getting guys to get in the huddle and command the huddle and get people in the right positions. He's very vocal. And he's really good at that. He's very smart. He knows the game, and he's just got a kind of a knack for playing linebacker. So I'm really pleased. I think he's getting better each week. You mentioned obviously starting both ways. He played a lot of snaps at tailback Thursday night against Temple, and he's a big guy. He's 6'2", 228 pounds. And he takes a lot of snaps now on both sides of the ball. So really proud of Charlie Dixon and his leadership and then what he brings to both our offense and our defense. And not only as a player but as a leader. And as a coach, you got to have guys like that. You got to have guys that a lot of times. I think some of the best coaches on the field are your kids, and so you need guys that'll step up and lead when the things are not going right and when there's adversity. And I think Charlie Dixon is one of those guys. So really proud of him. I think he's growing. Each week, and he's just a junior, so a lot more good things to happen for him down the road.
Yeah, I agree. And another one we want to talk about is Demetrius Coleman. I think he, since inserting himself into the lineup against Jordan last year, I thought he has gotten better with each and every start, and I thought he was really consistent Friday night, especially when you're trying to replace a guy like Tank. You got to kind of do it by committee, and I feel like we did a really good job in the passing games and in the running game. And Demetrius Coleman was a huge reason for that.
He is, and some of the things some of the qualities that I just mentioned with Charlie Dixon, I think that Demetrius Coleman brings as well. Obviously, he just plays offense and at quarterback, but what a great job he does. And he doesn't say a whole lot, but you don't have to when you play like he does and when you lead like he does. Not everybody's a vocal leader,
right?
And his effort, his attitude, and his want to is very high. But Demetrius had a big game against Temple Thursday night. He was 9 out of 14 with 244 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Wow.
And right now we're going into Game 6, and he's got 962 yards passing, 45 out of 71, and 9 touchdowns. And so for us, we've always ran the ball majority of the time.
Yep.
And we've had a couple of guys that passed for 1,000 yards and run for 1,000 yards. A couple of quarterbacks, and when you talk about from Tez Parks, he comes to mind, but Dylan Johnson, as far as just throwing for 1,000 yards. But Demetrius Coleman right now is on track, and we're in Game 6, and he's right at 1,000 right now. So, I'm excited about that. We could, and then we don't get into how many yards somebody's got, but it is a big number for us, and we're proud of his effort, at quarterback and the way we're distributing the ball, and with the success that we're having throwing the ball. We've got good running backs, and they've got good numbers as well. So it means several things. We're able to use the entire field, and that presents problems for a defense. It also means that the guys up front are doing their job, and coming into the season. We lost 3 really good players in Keyshawn Cameron, Adrian Porter, and Keandre Jones. And between those 3 guys, there was a lot of snaps and a lot of starts. And so we knew coming into that our offensive line might be as far as offensive side of the ball might be where we had to make the most improvement,
right.
And had to have guys step up. So I feel like those guys. I feel like that Zach Neighbors each week has gotten better, and he works really hard, and he's getting bigger too. Coming into the year. At the end of the summer, he was about 195 pounds, and he weighed in yesterday at 200, and I think he weighed in at 218. So,
nice.
We're really proud of him and his work ethic and the job he does at center.
Yeah, he's got some fans here in the crowd as well, so you get a good shout out for Zach Neighbors. So.
He's a good kid.
So, plenty of other players to talk about. We'll take another break. You're listening to the Key of LaGrange Coaches Show live at Your Pie.
The month of September has arrived and our great deals at Nissan of LaGrange continue. Katie Cates here, and we are doing something special this month. The month of September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and we are going gold all month long. During September, Nissan of LaGrange will donate $50 for every car sold to the Rally Foundation. With cancer being the #1 disease killer of kids in America, we must do all we can. I encourage everyone to go gold this month and visit Nissan of LaGrange for a great deal and a great cause. Nissan of LaGrange, your friendliest hometown dealer.
Life costs money, sometimes lots. First Franklin Financial has loans for living. Hogansville and LaGrange branches offer personal loans from $300 to $15,000 with payment plans to fit any budget.
Todd, can you hear us?
Stop by and meet the friendly Franklin
Yeah,
folk
man.
at the
Awesome.
location.
It's Andrew. We got Callaway show going on.
to learn more. All
Okay.
loan terms and applicable APRs depend on meeting our underwriting and income criteria for the loan size requested and may require collateral. Georgia Residential Mortgage Licensee number 5656.
Getting you back into the game is Emory Southern Orthopedics' goal. The full-service orthopedic medical practice features board-certified surgeons, a prompt care center, surgical facility, and physical therapy services. The collaborative medical team at Emory Southern Orthopedics combines with leading-edge orthopedic treatment with proven traditional methods to aid you in achieving an active, pain-free lifestyle. Emory Southern Orthopedics, getting you back into your game.
State Farm, Kathy here.
Hey, it's Mike. My team just pulled off the biggest upset ever.
Nice, Mike.
And some fans are getting crazy. They even flipped over a car.
Whoa.
Turns out it's my car, though.
Oh.
But I don't want to be upset right now. I want to know State Farm's going to take care of this, right?
We got you covered, Mike.
Yes! Woo!
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Your State Farm agent is Matt Orr on the square in downtown LaGrange.
Now back to the Kia of LaGrange Coaches Show, live at Your Pie LaGrange.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Key of LaGrange Coaches Show at Your Pie. I'm Andrew Carroll with Coach Wiggins, and on the line, as we do every week, we have Todd Parrish over there at Key of LaGrange joining us. Todd, what's going on, man?
Well, man, I'm headed home. I had a great day, and good month last month.
Good.
Finished up strong.
Awesome. Well, man, we got a Telluride sitting out here. I actually, this weekend, I got to ride my Uber driver down in Auburn, had a Telluride. I actually got to experience it up close and personal. And I want to ask you a question. What in the world is that microphone for inside that thing? Because we had a Uber driver that said we could do karaoke in the car.
It was like you wasn't singing, I hope.
No, thankfully not.
But yeah, that if you take a look, that's called the one out front's called an SX.
Okay.
Telluride, and when you look at the SX, you notice SX, the SXP due to the black wheels.
Gotcha.
And so when you see that package, that's one of your top of line packages. So it's got about everything under the sun that you can have. We actually had a customer call us about this thing's got what they call lane assist. Okay. And as you're driving down the road, if you sort of get over to the white side of the road or the middle yellow, it puts you back in line. Actually, you can let hands off the wheel, that bad boy drive about 2 miles by itself.
That's
now, I don't want y'all to do that, but it'll actually do that.
Well, me and Coach Wiggins were about to try it in a second. We were going to let it take us down the street a couple miles. But we also, I noticed this weekend it's got a little blind spot assist where it's got a little camera as well where it can kind of keep an eye on your blind spot for you.
That's right. If somebody's coming up on your left or your right, it'll signal for you. And we also got them. It's got what they call a 360-degree pano camera.
Okay.
That thing, it looks up like you got almost like a drone sitting on top of you. So it looks up all the way around the car. It's great safety for any kids or anybody or it might be around that vehicle before you take off. Unbelievable safety. But this car is the number one car SUV in the USA right now. And we also ship these things all over the world to the Middle East and Australia and all those places as well get them. So.
Yeah, it was really impressive. We enjoyed our ride. We drove from our little parking spot to our tailgate over in Auburn this weekend, and it had a lot of leg room, nice leather seats. Well, tell us before we let you go, what kind of gas mileage this thing get? It gets pretty good gas mileage.
Well, of course it's going to depend on how your foot is, but as an SUV, people have called us to. We're getting up to 28 miles a gallon. They've seen 30 miles a gallon now. Don't know what kind of driving habits they have, but you'll normally see that thing around 25, 26 miles an hour. Gallon for an SUV, man. That's unheard of.
That's solid, man. Well, Todd,
keep in mind now, those things are built right down the street, right there in West Point, Georgia.
Yes.
So we got the Telluride being built there, Sorrento, and the Altima. What a great job those guys do for us.
Absolutely. Well, we agree with you, man. We before we let you go, I just want to tell you thank you for all y'all do for sponsoring the show and everything you do for the local high schools.
All right, brother. We appreciate you guys, and again, thank those coaches for what they do. Those guys have got a tough job, and You got to love it. I know they do, and love those kids. And guys, if you get a chance out there, if you're listening, get up and get out of that, go outside, and y'all go to the stadium, watch these old boys play hard. They need everybody's support. But thank you.
Thank you, Todd.
Yeah, thank you, Todd. So that was Todd Parrish with Key of LaGrange. We'll take another break, and we'll come back with some more of the Key of LaGrange Coaches Show live at Europie.
At WellStar West Georgia Medical Center, we believe teamwork makes all the difference in your health. We believe that skilled people can achieve higher standards and exceptional results. We believe in a game plan that's focused on patient safety and quality care. At WellStar West Georgia Medical Center in LaGrange, we believe in life well lived. To learn more about award-winning healthcare, visit wellstar.org/WGMC.
Hi friends, it's TOWD at Kia LaGrange. The 2020 Kia Sportage LX is here with all new updated interior and exterior style and comfort on the inside that rivals vehicles twice the price. State-of-the-art technology, lots of power of the hood, and room in the back for luggage, coolers, and the dogs. All this for only $20,990. Come by today and take a look, take a test drive, take one home. Check us out online at KiaLaGrange.com. Help support your local economy. God bless America.
Stop number 111569. See Kia of LaGrange for complete details.
Life costs money, sometimes lots. First Franklin Financial has loans for living. Our Hogansville and LaGrange branches offer personal loans from $300 to $15,000 with payment plans to fit any budget. Stop by and meet the friendly Franklin folk at the location near you. Visit onefc.com to learn more. All loan terms and applicable APRs depend on meeting our underwriting and income criteria for the loan size requested and may require collateral. Georgia Residential Mortgage Licensee number 5656.
Isn't life crazy? One day your fender gets dented by a runaway shopping cart. The next day, your kid's college entrance exam is a runaway success.
Yes, I got accepted.
But that's life. Some days you're the bug, some days you're the windshield. No worries, your State Farm agent is here in all of life's moments, the good and the not so good, to help life go right. So good day, bad day, any day, let's talk.
State Farm agent Matt Orr on the square in downtown LaGrange.
Now back to the Kia of LaGrange Coaches Show, live at Europie LaGrange.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Key of LaGrange Coaches Show. We're going to wrap up the Callaway edition. Coach, Callaway defeated Temple 34-6 Friday, and as usual, there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes as far as the devotion, the pregame meal. So who are those responsible for that this weekend?
Well, Miss Patterson was responsible for the pregame meal, and Andrew, I'm telling you, you need to try to get in on Miss Patterson's pregame meal. It's on a different level, which they're all good, but Miss Patterson, the kids, you know how good a meal is by how much talking or how little talking or how many times you might have to say, all right, y'all calm down a little bit or get quiet or something. But when Miss Patterson does the pregame meal, it's totally silent. And but she did some smoked brisket and chicken, and it was green beans and mac and cheese, and it was and then she had a dessert, and it was red velvet cake that she made, and anyway, it was really special. So Miss Patterson has been doing a pregame meal for us for a long time, and she usually does two a year.
Okay.
So she's had several boys that have come through our program, and so she's been around a long time, and the kids know who she is, and very special to our program. So a big old thank you to Miss Patterson and her family for providing that meal, and Coach Kareem Donay, he came out and did the Devo for us, and
awesome.
The kids are always glad to see him, and still see him at practice on a regular basis. He comes by and sees the kids, and so he brought a great message, and so leading up to the game, we had some good things happening as far as the meal from Miss Patterson and Devo from Coach Donay. I also want to mention Mr. Laney and Justin Williams and Mr. Walker. They took 15 kids. Wesley Woodyard had given tickets to the Falcons and Titans game yesterday to a group of kids that represent what we call Do the Right Thing, or what Wesley calls Do the Right Thing. And so they bussed up to Atlanta yesterday and got to spend the day in the stadium, and they got to go down on the field and meet the players, and it was really a cool day for them. So we want to say thank you to Wesley and for allowing. I mean, that's kind of a once in a lifetime opportunity for kids to get to do. So that was a really special time for all those young people. And I want to go back to the homecoming festivities. I want to say thank you to Coach McDonald, Miss Allie McDonald, and Katie Schneider for their efforts toward making homecoming very special. I want to say thank you to Miss Sheila for taking care of the homecoming parade. We had a great time down in Hogansville on Wednesday, and we rode the floats through the town, and that was a big deal, and that's been a big deal for a long time. So we want to thank all those folks that made homecoming week very special, and a lot of people put a lot of time in behind the scenes and making it special for the kids. So it was a great week, and now we're moving on to Bremen.
Yep.
Bremen's got a great football team, a lot of tradition. So we're going to be on the road Friday night up in Bremen, Georgia, playing a good team. And last year, that game came down to the final few minutes in the fourth quarter that we were able to separate a little bit off of a turnover. But what a tough game that was. And you look back on playing 14 games last year, and they were one of the best teams that we saw. They're coached up. Their kids play really hard, and it'll be a hard-fought game Friday night up in Bremen.
And this will be our first true road test since playing down in Opelika. How much do you think that game will prepare the kids for going up to playing in a tough environment like Bremen?
Well, anytime you play good football teams like we played in Stars Mill, LaGrange, Opelika, Troop, I think Temple, all those teams prepare you for the next game. So, we've played really good teams up until this point, and hopefully that'll help us Friday night against a really good team. And so anytime you go on the road, it's a little different, and you have to. There's things that the kids have to deal with that might not be used to, but that's part of winning. Any good team, you have to be able to win on the road in any situation, whether it be weather, whether it be their fans being loud, whatever the situation is. Good teams are able to win on the road, and that's a big part of being successful. So, big challenge for us Friday night going up to Bremen.
Yeah, so game Friday night will be 7:30 at Bremen. So Callaway Nation, we know you'll travel up there and support us. So we'll need a big crowd as usual. So for head coach Pete Wiggins, I'm Andrew Carraway, and this has been the Key of LaGrange Coaches Show live at Your Pie.
Precision Auto Body started after Eddie Bartlett